And then if your client has a weak or unstable polarity, so that it switches from normal to reversed several times during your consultation, then that is absolutely the worst, because you get conflicting results. You get results that don't make any sense. So if you know how to muscle test and been having some success, and then all of a sudden with a certain client you're getting erratic results, this is the first things to suspect. Now, those of you who know me know that I am a very busy man and I don't have time to waste. So I never did like to have the client put their hand up here. That takes too much time. So I use this one down at the bottom of page 7. I use my hand. And I can have it done before I can even explain half of it to the client. Then we're ready to go on. So let's just have someone come up very quickly and demonstrate this. Come quick. We're going to demonstrate this, and this is Shirley Blair. Glad you could come, Shirley. And so hold your arm strong, and now she knows how to do this. She's holding it out, locked position. She's not fighting me. It's not an arm wrestling thing. And I just put my hand here, and she's strong. Let's turn just a little bit so the camera can see. She's strong. I'm pushing pretty hard. I'm going to turn my hand on and push around and turn it down with one finger. See that? One thing is people will say, well, you're pushing too hard the second time. Well, that's why I developed this one finger thing. And that seems to answer that question. Now, Shirley, we're going to assume that your polarity is reversed, and we're going to try to. You willing to work with me here?
Sure.
All right. Isn't that good about natural health people? They're always eager to be a blessing. And so one thing we can do is we can pound on our chest and do the Tarzan thing, you know. Oh! Let's hear it. You do it.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Now the next thing, if that doesn't do it, the next thing we can do is a crosswalk. Okay? And this really helps people to get themselves fixed, their polarity working. And occasionally, you know, somebody, this never seems to bother me much, but some people want to take metal off, you know, and magnets, you got to take them off, because magnets always make people test better than they really are. So take personal magnets off. I usually don't worry about metal and jewelry and all that stuff unless, you know, I have a very dear nun that comes to see me that has a 3-inch silver crucifix over her, you know, thymus gland, and she's very happy to take it off while we're testing. But most of that's pretty severe, having that much metal right there. But you know, if you need to, you can even move away from fluorescent lights and computers and stuff. That doesn't seem to bother me a whole lot. But then I've done it for years and years and lots of people. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Now, that may be enough about deltoid muscle. Let's go on down to the finger-thumb friction. Try to do that. Put your hand on your head and try to do that with your fingers. It should be vibrating or jumping. How many can get that to work? Oh, pretty good. Not everybody. Now, if you got it working like that, turn your hand over and it should slide. Can you get the difference? How many can get a difference, one way and the other? Okay, very good. Well, we've got a very experienced group here today. We still have to go through some of this for the sake of the people watching the DVDs, right? Because they are not likely to be as experienced as you are. Now, the thing that I like about this, the thing I really like about this, is that it takes only one hand. Right? leaves this hand free to do other things. Touch your client. And you know what? I usually have a pen in this hand. I can hold a pen in this hand and still do it. And I can touch people with his hand and touch my test apples and still hold my pen and still do this. And so it's like having 4 hands. Now, if it took 2 hands, just a muscle test, then I would have trouble getting all these other things done. So I really like it. Another reason I like it is because I can test my food in the grocery store without looking like an idiot. You know, you pick up a can of peas and you push on your arm. And they say, what in the world is that guy doing? But now I can just touch the can of peas and say, this is good for me to eat. Or I could touch the frozen turkeys and say, this one is free of salmonella. Or, you know, would you rather have the turkey that's been thawed out and refrozen and is full of salmonella, or the one that isn't? And they all look the same. So it sure does protect your family to choose the right one in the store before you buy it, than to wait till you get home and get sick and then have to throw it out and try to get well. Another thing that I like about this one is, did you ever notice that people at church don't respect your professionalism? And they will come to you in church, sometimes even during the service, say, my knee hurts, what's wrong with it? And some churches I've been in, if you would have them hold their arm up and reef on it during the service, or even after the service, they would say, what in the world is he doing? Is this some kind of witchcraft or what? So I can do this, and nobody knows what's going on. You know, I just touch the person on the shoulder, and oh yeah, you got liver stones, or whatever, you know. And nobody thinks I'm particularly strange, unless they did already. All right. There's another method that I like to use when I'm swimming, because my fingers won't work when they're wet. And so that's called the finger thumb circle method. Can you do that? And you pull at the juncture of the finger and the thumb. And if you can hold it, that's strong, and if you can't hold it, it's weak. Now, usually people can get this easier than the other. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you do this and say 2 plus 2 is 4. You should be able to hold it. Pull hard. You should be able to hold it. Now say 2 plus 2 equals 5, and try again. Does that work for you? How many does that work for? Oh yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it? So I muscle test all the time.